Yeah, trying to block out your back.
And the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown letter.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Hey, Rod, I tell them enter the Wu-Tang and wishing the slide land slain. They cross any shit nigga's brain. Chief Warhorse. I mean, not Chief Warhorse, Chief Crazy Horse. ODB. Hey, Rod, notice the ages, notice the principle, y'all. We back, man. We back up and running, man. We got a couple things to go over, man. Notice the ages, notice the principle, man. You all know every time me and Rod go live, we've been building a case against these suckers for quite some time. Can y'all hear us out there? Loud and clear. Hey, how you feeling, Chief? Rod?
Pretty smooth, pretty smooth. Look, we got to put a all tribes aware notice up. All tribes red alert notice. Government is gone. We have to reconstitute tribal government because tribal government was one-to-one with the now defunct United States Corporation. When they declared the corporation insolvent and all of the people have been selected, we went through the entire continuity of government. We was under what's called a usufruct. The usufruct had our Congress in long-term recess. If you look at what a usufruct is, it's a contractual agreement about administration of estates, right? So the right of the usufruct involves the transfer of possession, use, and enjoyment of a movable property from the owner to the usufructuary. The right can only be registered for properly titled immovable property and is established through an agreement with the owner, followed by registration at the local land office. The usufruct agreement is it's like the lien on, it's like somebody is living in your house, right? And until you go claim your house, they enjoy all of the rights They get to use the bathtub. They get to use your sink in the kitchen. They get to cook at free will, sleep where they want to sleep, just like they own the house, but they don't own it. That agreement was the result of a ceasefire under a agreement made in secret lodges to confuse us about who we was so nobody would know how to reclaim our estate. Right? So we went through the redemption process of the usufruct following the oral tradition of the tribes by using information, which is keys from each tribe that offered up information about how to get the property back, how to get the land back. This agreement gave them governing supremacy through the illusion of uniforms that made them appear to be legitimate. We went through this entire book over the last few years. Those that's been around with me and Elder know we done referred y'all to read this over and over again because this is the process that we was going through as you seen Doge auditing the government, as you seen Donald Trump relieving mass numbers of federal employees, IRS, they declaring the Federal Reserve almost they about to be done because they can't account for the budget. Right? They don't have the resources any longer because they can no longer willy-nilly print money. And the BRICS nations is forcing the dollar to back up back home because they don't want to trade in American fiat as petrol currency any longer. This was also just recently announced within the last 72 hours that the BRICS nations went online and blocked out the American dollar from half of the world trade. So now when America go to the table, they got to come in gold. That leaves the Treasury in a unique position to revert back to the gold standard by necessity in order to maintain a value of currency. But first, the fiat system have to collapse. They already taken the Federal Reserve off the notes.
Yo, Raw, is he froze? Yo, they must have cut Raw or something, man. What the hell? What's going on with this, man? He was just talking. What the heck? Oh yeah, they playing games, y'all. Y'all see how they doing, y'all? Hey, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. They go Raw right there.
I don't know what.
Yo. Yo, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let me see something real quick, man. Let's keep on doing. This is crazy right here. Just freezing Raw. Hold on. All right, let's see if this shit works. Hold on. Let me try to. Hey, y'all. Can y'all hear me, man? Something going on. I don't know what's happening. Just click raw off. Hey, y'all, can y'all hear me? What the fuck? Yo, hold on. Let me we gotta redo this, man, because it ain't letting raw lock. Just kick raw off. I know that the internet, bro. Hold on. Hey, hold on, y'all. Just give me a second. What the hell? That mug just booted Rod off. I know Rod phone ain't go dead. Hold on, y'all. Hey, y'all, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. You see how they trying to do is we on to them, y'all. They know we on to them. We know they usurpers. Hold on. That shit just went crazy. So like, what the hell? What the hell's going on with it? Hold on, y'all. Hey, can y'all hear me now? Mic check, mic check. I'm waiting on Rod to clap back on. See if it work now. Might just, I don't know if it's the laptop or what, bro. Nah, won't even let Roy log on. There you go, right there. Hey, Rod, so can you hear me now, Rod?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It try to mess up my feed tonight, man. I just switched to the damn phone. I don't know if it's the phone or the laptop or what. It ain't gonna cut us off now though, because I'm on this damn phone. Hey, so it wouldn't let you log in or something?
I had to change phones.
Oh shit. Okay.
So
Oh, that's what it was.
we both had a malfunction at the same time. But we good.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, this is my question for you, Rod, because based on what we just read too, because I'm glad you brought this, because I was gonna ask, I got a whole bunch of questions stimulated around based on what I've been studying for the last 7 days, and you know how we get our shit back. I say, man, well they ain't gonna. I came to the conclusion they ain't gonna give our shit back. We got to take it back, and we
Right.
take
So
it back.
that's where I was going.
Go ahead, Rod. Go ahead.
That's where I was going. So the tribal government has been in abeyance. They haven't been functional. The tribal government would convene the last place we got the grandfather in from the last place we had a tribal government before the United States Corporation took over. The last place is where they got it from, where they stole the paperwork, where they wrote up the paperwork on the land. Those are all part of treaty agreements. Right now they failed. They put in the interim government as a mediator between European powers and tribal powers of the land. The European powers was a belligerent occupying force. Once we start taking our rights back by asserting them in the public domain, they start losing power. So the U.S. corporation fall because of all of the people in D.C. involved in the Epstein Island, the Podesta files, the Wiener laptop, the Hunter Biden laptop. Because all of this evidence is public knowledge, right? The corruption in D.C. has been turned belly side up using Trump as the tiller. Doge had to come in and account for the wealth, what they was doing with the money. You can't say foreign powers was trying to rule over you if you don't know who's collecting the money. It could be somebody right here at home. So we had to prove that all of these documents that they had written up was through the barristers, and which is actually Levitical priesthood. These barristers are the ones that's controlling everything with paperwork, tracing the paperwork back by patent of ideas and purpose of use. You realize that all of the copyright patents held on the paperwork was foreign interest to the tribes. When we look at the names on the treaties, those are not treaties between tribal members. They're between some Europeans and some Europeans about how they're going to do business on our land. And they come over here and just took over. Now, they use sorcery. They use blood magic. They use torture techniques, trauma bonds. They had to create trauma in the children to make them be less likely to fight back as adults. And now their interim government has 100% collapsed. It's not here. Because there is no government, the check is not in DC. The check is in Philadelphia. When Martin said he was going to get the check, he was going to DC. He was going to the wrong place because the only thing in DC was lead and gun smoke. The real check is when Big Mama called all of the women. The turnaround happens on Mother's Day in Philadelphia. She put out the call because that's the one they chose to do business with as the executor of the estate. That's why they gave her their paperwork. It was surrendering to a rightful heir their position of control over all of us. So she's speaking up for everybody, even the people that don't belong here. We can sort all that out after we exercise our tribal right to restore the land. It's an obligation for us to do this. Those who want their birthright back, the check is in Philadelphia on Mother's Day. I'm telling you where it's at. You have to go there to exercise your estate. There's 100 and something seats in Congress Hall that has to be filled by tribal mothers from across the land, from Canada all the way into South America. Whoever wished to come in to help exercise the estate of the tribes of the land with the blood and the right can be assigned a seat in Congress Hall when the matriarchs receive everything back, because the corporation is gone. We've exhausted the continuity of government process. And the only thing to maintain some semblance of normalcy is for the tribes to assume the responsibilities of government. And only thing government's supposed to be doing is supplying resources to people. They're not supposed to be micromanaging your life. That's not government job. So if we want to get back what's rightfully ours, we need to fill Congress hard because we have to put a government in place. There's no government operational right now, though we can use the infrastructure of the old government until we reconstruct a government. The government is gone. Your spirit of 76, the revolutionary spirit is dead. That shit over with. Now it's up to the tribes. The rightful heirs are being called to Philadelphia on Mother's Day. The clan mothers across the lands. They can come from Samoa, they can come from Tonga, they can come from Hawaii, the Philippines if they choose to. We gonna be doing the National Mardi Gras start on July the 4th, which was the duration of the contract was only 200 years. They got a 50-year extension because we resumed war. Now we are initiating the peace initiative of the tribes, but we got to get back into our proper persona. So operating as sui juris, administer and executor of the estate, being recognized as the executor of the state by the people who wrote the paperwork, by surrendering the paperwork they wrote to the rightful heir that they have chose to surrender to and get out of the way of. So now all we need is similarly situated tribal mothers, the ones that got their court records because they've been fighting these some bitches for 250, 300 years in some of these judicial cases that's still unsettled for them violating the rights of those tribes, those families, right? So the tribal mothers is the first heirs. They the ones who are responsible for administering resources to their families. To be a big mama, all she's doing is making sure that everybody has three primary things in life, and so we can proceed forward from that. Food, clothes, shelters. The government's only responsibility is how to administer resources to the people. They don't got no business in your day-to-day life. The people are supposed to govern a local environment. And this is why they had the Sharifs it's not the name we used to use. We begin to use the word Sharif from the Arabic. And that came through the secret societies because they made the Sharif a rank in the ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the mystic shrine. So when they brought it over here, the similar tribal position as the sheriff had to be elected by the people. He's more of a problem solver than to go arrest you and bust you in your head with a flashlight. He's a community activist. He is like a big father figure to the community. And he's always nominated by the local big mamas. They're not never nominated because the politicians thought that they looked good in a uniform. That's not how they nominated. They draw from the people of the land. Now we have a lot of strangers on the land. Right now is not the time to determine who going where. Right now is only the time to exercise the tribal birthright, to catch the government and assume responsibilities of government and restructuring of government in order to have a smooth as possible transition from the old system that's now defunct. It's been dismantled in its entirety. The only remnant that remains is strictly military. The military has National Guard troops located near every major city right now because America is in a great transition. The tribes that want to receive their birthrights back need to take their paperwork that shows your claim so you can put it on the public record. In Philadelphia, we had to fill 109 seats of matriarchs to have a full assembly. We can have as many supporting matriarchs as want to appear, show up, but we have to fill 109 seats of qualified heirs that can show who they are. And they all can show who they are because the system gave you the means to show if you're an imposter, you will be known as an imposter. But right now, we don't have time to worry about them. Right now, the only thing is the administration of the estate. The tribes have a fiduciary duty, not a selective idea. We have to come together. Some of us tribes have been mislabeled. Organize your tribe a little bit better. Stop breaking your tribe up into factions. We own to something right now. We at the threshold of something so monumental that it's the greatest comeback since Twinkie. So we here. I have to be there in Philadelphia because I have been tasked with addressing certain grievances on the behalf of all of the tribes. That's my responsibility. So I have to tell Big Mama what I seen with the grievance and what the remedy is. If I don't got no remedy, I can't bring the grievance up. Period. Don't come in here talking about the problem. We already know what the problems is. We want the solutions now. Right now, the changing of the guard back to the tribes will be taking place Philadelphia, Mother's Day weekend. They are making arrangements now. It's just started because we just got the message to proceed. And the message came in from multiple channels. So we following the steps. I'm giving y'all the message. This is important to every single tribe on the land. Even if you are a ceremonial tribe, an adopted tribe, a subsidiary tribe, because you got a lot of tribes that's not part of their recognition through the BIA. They recognize roughly 576 tribes or so. That's 10% of the actual number of tribes that we have to cover for. And we don't have to have them all there at one time because we're going to be having what was called the international delegation of matriarchs that's going to be coming over here throughout the year from 2025, July 7, 2026 to July 4th, 2026 to July 4th, 2027. The matriarchs from around, we're going to be trying to solve community problems worldwide. But first, the tribes from this land is the only ones that can initiate the first right to the earth right. This is the oldest tribes in the world is here. We populated the world and they told y'all Africa did it.
Yep.
That was the Eurocentric perspective. Our perspective is way older than their perspective. So they told you our perspective was mythology. They told you our perspective was witchcraft, sorcery, the devil's work.
Pre-dynastic. That's another word they use, right? Pre-dynastic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know the first dynasty came to the pyramids. They didn't build it. But they want us to believe that Khufu, Khafre, and Khafre is the ones who built the 3 pyramids. Bullshit, they was already there.
Right.
They was there thousands of years before the first dynastic period.
Right. Khufu done renovated them.
That's all they did. That's all they did is when they cleaned up the temple.
Yeah.
Because somebody periodically have to return to clean up the old temples.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they did. The dynastic period was living off the wealth of the pre-dynastic period.
Right.
When they talk about old money, that ain't no money. Talk about pharaoh money. Now you talking money. Now you talking a pocket. Big Mama, look, I'll track down one account in the Philippines through the White Dragon Society with $385 quadrillion in it. That's intergalactic trade money. That's not no earth trade. That's not no earth trade money. That's you could get everybody on Earth $1 billion and not dent that. That one account. That's intergalactic trade money. Anytime you get to talking 100 trillion and up, that's intergalactic trade money.
Makes sense.
Anything less than that, the average country, look at their gross domestic product, their gross national product. Then it tell you how in the hell is you in the trillions of dollars in trade when y'all don't produce that much shit.
Yeah.
Right? It's an illusion. They want you to not know that they doing intergalactic trade because some of y'all is on the menu to be traded intergalactically.
That's right.
Let that
Rod,
sink
come
in.
on with it. Rod, you hitting them, Rod. Go ahead.
Everybody trying to get to heaven. There's aliens here. But they look like us, so you can't even tell that you sitting next to them in the grocery store, in the bus stop. You walking right next to them, walking down Main Street. They observing y'all. They came in thousands of years ago, and they can walk right next to you and you not know they ain't from here. But the ones from here, they can recognize them because they can recognize strangers by temperament. His vibrational frequency is not earthborn. He ain't from here. If he ain't earthborn, he's starborn. And starborn is one side of the ship. Right?
You cracking us.
So we talking riding the Navy. Right? So if you're in the Navy, that means you need a navigator because you on the ship. And the navigator got to be able to read the stellar alignments in order to navigate correctly on the high seas because it ain't no road maps floating out there telling them where to go. How do they know where they're going? So that's how you know how important the navigation of the stars is. You out to water for days on end. You know where you're going because of the position of the stars at night. It's the same way you got to read society. Look, when Elijah talked about the wheel, y'all about to see that shit. Whether y'all believe it's true or not, don't matter. You about to see that shit. Malachi told you about the Anunnaki, Eric Von Daniken, Zechariah Stinson. They told you through Hermeticism, Theosophy, Anthroposophy. They told you all of this stuff that had to be in order so they was telling you that there's so many things that got to line up. But they didn't tell you how to line them up. Who was going to line them up? Somebody had to put the puzzle back together so you could see the big picture. We was at war, plain and simple. A lot of them guys, entertainers, is code flippers, tribal code flippers. You can tell by their names, but y'all don't know how to read your own culture within the overall culture. Because our culture is the seed, theirs is the flower. We can hide the seed in the flower, but you can't hide the flower in the seed because you know the flower has to come out of the seed. So it can't be hidden. So if all you got to do is know what seed it is, you know what flower gonna bloom. And once you know what flower gonna bloom, you know what to look for. We knew what the Panthers was doing in the 60s and 70s. We knew what the African Liberation Army was doing. We knew what the Underground was doing. We know that Joseph Sinkyu and Charles Manson rebelled against the race war. Because those was the two that was trained to be the leaders of the race war, Helter Skelter. We know this because it's documented through the documents of the people that was sending them to do the dirt as part of a COINTELPRO initiative. The COINTELPRO initiative is to stop the ride of any messiah who could incite the masses. Fuck inciting them, inform them. I ain't trying to incite nobody. I'm trying to inform people. Because once they inform, they can make up their own decisions, whether they agree or disagree with me, to determine if I'm telling the truth or not.
Right.
But after you produce so many receipts, people stop second guessing you, like, well, this motherfucker might be on to something right here, because I just checked out 276 consecutive accurate receipts.
Right.
Right? So now maybe I should listen to him. Right? This is the clarion call we've been looking for. Right? This is the full Earth activation code. The key to the heirs is for the heirs to bring their keys to match. The same thing Thanos was doing when he was trying to build up that glove. Everybody don't have to agree and everybody don't have to participate. They're not going there to argue tribal philosophy, which we call religious dogma or doctrine. They're not going there to argue that. They not all they going there is to figure out how we're going to get the next 7 generations set up. They don't, all the rest of it don't matter. We need our resources. We had a right because the corporation failed to step in the position to exercise our position as the executors of the land. The land was already on file. Territorial rights are being enforced by the tribal mothers. They got first right to the earth right. What does that mean, Rod? That means that on the feminine planet, the mothers who represented by matriarchs of communities are the first people of the earth representative in any era. And as the representative of the first people, that gives them the first right of claim to the earth. Right? For further understanding, go ask the nation of gods and earths, why do they call the women earths? Get their view on why their women are referred to as the earths. And who is the man? The original man, the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Do some God shit, niggas, for once. Stop letting y'all kids be dumb and tell them to pay attention. We taking it back in real time. We ain't even have to take it. They giving us. We just be there to receive what they already returning, what was already ours. We back for everything they owe. Now they just giving us everything. But we have to reform a new government. That old government is gone in order to maintain some semblance of normalcy. Once we do that, we can then restructure government according to the principles that we always structure our government around, called the principles of might. That's it. That's what our government always based on, the principles of might. That's why when you go look at the Code of Hammurabi, you're going to see the principles of might. They talking about he was the first lawgiver, but he got his laws from the principles of might. Let that sink in. Hammurabi, the first bring the law. They lay down the law in Mesopotamia. Knowing the fuck they didn't. The law is a universal law that's hardwired into life itself. And we refer to them as the principles of might. You can't write no law before the first law. How you gonna do that? The first law already there. The earth belongs to the women, and that's why earth is the feminine planet. Because mitochondrial is the determining factor, because you can trace the mitochondrial back to a landmass. And eventually back to one mother Isis. One Black Madonna. One ancient dark mother, also referred to as prima matter. The prime matter is the mother. If you want your birthright, organize your tribes, but tell them babies to watch what's finna happen. Because now you see how the last shall move back to first, and the first shall be made last again. Because the ones who took all of the pressure, we built up the pre-karma of suffering. And just like the ones who inflicted the pain, they the ones accumulated the karma to suffer. So they sacrificed us to relieve their suffering, but it only lasted for a season, because now we back to watch them suffer. Because they say, laugh now, cry later.
Right.
That's because they was laughing back then. Now it's time for them to cry. We cried then.
Yeah,
we laughed. Listen, we cried then. We last laugh. Right? We get the last laugh. And guess what? They say he who last laughs last, laughs best. We didn't turn this shit on the head. Look, I'm just telling y'all, don't nobody gotta bleed nothing I'm saying. I ain't trying to tell nobody how to live their life. I don't care how you live your life as long as you ain't hurt no babies. So that's up to you. All I'm telling you is that right now the call has been given. They finna break the seals on the vaults because we have to take care of government now. The only way we can take care of government is have access to our resources. Big Mama Bank was closed because you had foreigners operating on the land in hostilities, and she didn't want her bank getting robbed by the peasants. So she shut it down. In the interim, they issued monopoly money to pretend like they had some wealth. All the time, they used their usufruct position to levy liens against the land and the people of the land. That mean they held us in reprisal for the debts while they incurred the benefit of the debt, and we incurred the suffering. Because debt is slavery.
That's right.
And anytime you need a debt system, that's a slave system. Fractional reserve banking is what it's called. I'm giving y'all reference points to look up on your own. Fractional reserve banking. There's a book on fractional reserve banking that was put out by the Federal Reserve to explain how it worked. So we didn't write that shit, they did. But once you know how it worked, then you understand how it was easier for them to put a lien on our stuff and borrow money against the lien so that they could pretend like they have wealth while ours was held locked up off limits. You know they opened in Big Mama Bank when they started to trade in American oil. America never did international trade with domestically drilled oil. America only did military surplus buildup with the oil. That's why we kept having fuel shortages in the 70s when the Arabs cut them off. Remember that? First big oil strike? That's because we was using our domestically drilled oil only for military purposes. Because if we had been using it for general purposes, it would have never affected the gas price when they put it on strike.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to ask you, because people was asking in the crowd about the gas prices now. In some places, $5, $6, $4, depending on where you at. They didn't put it up $1 at least all the way around on everybody. What's your take on that? Being with all the stuff you're saying now, with them opening Big Mama's Bank back up, everything going up, the gas being up $1.
First, the Federal Reserve fiat dollar have to be publicly crashed. The first step was shutting down the Federal Reserve. Donald J. did that in 2017. Then they had to stop printing. He did that in 2019 before Biden took office. Stopped him from printing. Right. So then he had to get the certificate from the White Dragon Society that was the main marker on our gold. He went and did that. Now, because of that marker, you have to go to the Vatican where our gold is held as collateral. He went and flew 650 cargo planes full of gold from the Vatican, securing the asset. That's all he's been doing this whole time, is securing the asset. Doge has been finding out the fraud, but it's also showing us where errors are in the operational rollout of government so we don't make the same mistakes. The bureaucracy was too big for accountability to be effective. So they downsize till they eliminate. Donald Trump was the liquidator in chief. His responsibility was to run the military, not the government. The president has never been supposed to run the government. The only time the president run the government is when the government is under military control. Well, right. Who's supposed to run the government? The government is the president of the House. They commonly refer to him as the Speaker of the House, but you will often hear them when they doing lobbies and debates saying, "But excuse me, Mr. or Mrs. President," and the commander in chief ain't even in the building, right? That's the one who runs the House. That's the one that's supposed to make sure that the resources is properly allocated to the people. The military, that's what would be a war chief for us, right? Drawn from the civilian sector, they don't actually know about warfare, but they have to know how to utilize their chiefs of staff as experts. When the chiefs of staff determine that the top position is being usurped in a coup attempt by installing a foreign-born person against constitutional mandate. And the Senate and the House don't even act on it. And all of them knew that Barack Obama was not born here. Trump called out the birth certificate for this very reason, because the FBI already had intelligence and the CIA already had intelligence that there was an operative operating out of Chicago that was infiltrating the political arena with the goal to be seated as president. They didn't know he was black until the last minute. When they found out who Barack Obama was, they are observing and containing the coup. This was not a presidency. The original mastermind of the coup was George Herbert Walker Bush.
There you go. Senior.
He created, using the CIA, psychological operations to move the mentality of the people in order to prime them before Barack Obama ever came. They used the fear of 9/11 in the hunt and chase of Osama bin Laden as a primer. The primer is in your mind. And then they roll out the ticket, right, for the election. In the Democratic Party, the ticket reads Obama, Joe Biden. Your brain said, catch this motherfucker, because it's a homonym. Osama bin Laden don't sound far off from Osama Joe Biden.
Damn sure don't, bro.
So in your mind, you still with your government chasing the ghost of Osama bin Laden through the caves of Afghanistan, dragging a dialysis machine behind his crippled ass while he bent over and can barely walk, escaping the most elite military teams ever sent in Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, Green Berets. They all went in looking for Osama bin Laden, crippled ass, dragging a big ass dialysis machine through the caves of motherfucking Afghanistan. So now that we have a chance to catch Osama bin Laden, we will elect him to the highest office in the land on the ticket, Obama Joe Biden. And they'll never see it happening, George. The fuck, some of us did.
Yeah.
Okay, now, once Obama get in the office, 8 years Bush hunted hunted Osama bin Laden. But soon as Obama get in office, guess who catch Osama bin Laden? Your boy, your office of Obama Joe Biden. You caught him. Now, the funny thing about it is it was all staged.
Through his body in the middle of the ocean,
None of them elite motherfuckers ever caught up with a guy running around a cave with a big ass dialysis machine dragging behind him. They never produced them.
Nah.
Remember, they told us, and we supposed to believe this now. Remember this, we supposed to believe this. The only reason they couldn't show us what happened to him was because they gave him a burial at sea.
Yeah. That's what they told us.
That's what they told us, right?
Yeah.
Then 2 days later, Then 2 days later, they released pictures of his face with bullet holes in it.
Yeah.
We also know that Osama bin Laden had a minimum of 7 lookalikes, because it's in the CIA report on the Mujahideen whom they were funding to fight against Russia in the hills of Afghanistan to prevent them from taking the oil fields of Uzbekistan. So y'all don't remember history very well, but I lived through that shit. Right. So remember, look, Farrakhan did a whole thing explaining the war in Iraq and how they had approved this oil pipeline. Right. That was what the Americans' interest was protecting from the Russians. Using the Mujahideen and Al Qaeda, America made them. They paid for them to be trained to fight Russia. This ain't no secret. Anybody can Google this shit. They trained them, and in the report, they the ones who taught Osama bin Laden to use body doubles to throw the Russians off to his location.
Yeah.
And they got caught. So he beat them at their own game because they still never produced a dialysis machine that belonged to Osama bin Laden. We know they supposed to got him, right? We know he was on dialysis because they kept saying he won't get very far because he's on dialysis. That's what they kept telling us in the news. So we know he ain't gonna get far before these elite Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, Green Berets, all of these motherfuckers gonna going in there looking for him in the cave. Look, they found him right around the time that they caught Saddam Hussein, right? They had him on satellite, and then they blew up the mountain with a missile. They were showing this on the news, and I'm serious. They were showing this on the news. 3 days later, they film him again walking down the side of a different mountain in another part of Afghanistan. I'm like, okay, now. But anyway, the theater of war is very theatrical. Because in order to get people to consent to some dumb shit like blowing some innocent people up, you got to make them feel threatened. I'm not threatened.
No.
I'm not agreeing to blowing no innocent people up. I'm a war chief. I'm about that life of war. But I don't agree with that shit. It's dumb. And useless and worthless. It serves no value. I'm all for getting the person responsible for the dirt, put one between that son bitch eyes and leave him laying where he was standing. I'm with that. I ain't with killing no babies with no bombs in no hospitals. I ain't with blowing up no schools with no children in it. I'm not with none of that. That's what Israel was doing. And then they want the American people to sign off on a war in Iran. But they kept telling y'all we saving Israel for last. They done too. Yeah, Iran level. They took out all military capabilities, bases, ports, stockpiles, all that took out. Okay, now guess what though? Israel level too.
And they leader did.
They start bombing in parts of Israel that had never been bombed before. Dimona, Israel. Go look it up. That's where Ben Ami Carter and them at. That's where the Falasha Jews went during Operation Exodus that was ran by the CIA. I mean, Mossad back in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, where they took all them Falasha Jews, man, and they business out of Ethiopia to treat them like shit in Israel. Just because they wanted to be legitimized as Jews, rightful heirs. First of all, any God that created a planet and then created a people, created them to be somewhere. This is the biggest trick of the Bible, to make you think that somebody is more chosen to God than somebody else on a planet full of people that was already here before these displaced people ever came up needing a place to stay.
Right.
That's retarded. And he's supposed to be a loving, kind, and beneficent God who will tell you to stone your children for talking back in the town square for the country to see it. But he's merciful and he loves you. And he'll murder his own son just to show you how much he loves you. Because he don't love his son as much as he loves you. That he don't know because you ain't his child. With no blood ties whatsoever. God loves you so much, he gonna send his son. Then he didn't ask him if he wanted to die. Look, he didn't want to die because what he say? He said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, my Lord, take this cup from me.
Yeah.
So he made his son die for some people that he didn't even want to die for. Because he loved them people so much that he gave up his son. That's some bitch made shit if I ever heard.
Right?
You come fucking with my son, I'm gonna dig in your ass. Ain't nothing, come fucking with my son, especially when he doing good shit.
My only son too? Oh, yeah.
But look, if my son out there in the gangster life, I know what that brings. But if he ain't out there in the gangster life, oh man, that's the worst thing you could do. You think John Wick was a motherfucker? Look, I be popping up in motherfuckers' toilets, busting their ass, clack, 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 clack. All kind of shit. No, like my man in Taken. I got a particular set of skills. I know how to fight. I know how to stab. I know how to cut.
Oh, my mama, nigga.
I know how to rig explosives. I know how to do all that shit, but I don't want no smoke though. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't want no drama. But when people bring drama, I'll be like, okay, let's do drama then.
Yeah.
It's just theater. It's just the theater of war. Let's do some drama. But on a serious note, we need to get this point across to all of the tribes on the land that the call is going out on the matriarchal side to put the matriarchs back in charge of the political side of the tribal systems. It's not to argue doctrine, it's not to argue philosophy, it's only to organize in order to be the most effective possible in replacing the fallen government without creating another fucking bureaucracy. That's all it's about. The government gone. The continuity of government steps have been followed to pass it back to the tribes, right? There are recognized tribes and there are unrecognized tribes. Some of the unrecognized tribes still got paperwork. Some of them don't. The ones who don't, we ain't worried about that right now. We can find the paperwork. But the ones who've been doing the work already, they ready to serve the claim, to exercise their fiduciary right as the beneficiaries and executors of the states of the many tribes. We can take enrollments of other tribes in their positions. Other people from foreign lands, they got to go home to collect their own birthright. If they from Germany, you can't get a German birthright in America. It's not going to happen. If you from Austria, you can't get an Austrian birthright in America. If you're from Poland, Czechoslovakia, Armenia, Albania, you can't get your birthright in America. It's not going to happen.
All right.
If you from Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Togo, Benin, South Africa, Ethiopia, Sudan, you cannot get your birthright over here. You have to go home. If you are one of the ones that's part of your family's recognition of the elders of this land that's been sent, you know who you are supposed to perform a function. This is the event you was waiting on, to be a representative for your big mama showing gratitude to our big mama. There's a lot of women over here that came as a representative of a foreign big mama. This is the call they was waiting on. All of those biker clubs are matriarchal. They all got a club mother. They got MC 13 certified. That means that they got a Queen Mother's charter. The biker mother of your tribe need to be pulling up. Because everybody is going to be called together to aid in the rebuild, and to some of us good old boys going to have to clean up some bad old boys. Some of us. But most of us is going to have to educate the youth. We're going to have to use our life as a template to teach them what not to do, because we've been fucking up bad. Me included. I got my fuck ups too. I ain't perfect. Don't even think that. I had to walk through the fire to be able to bring y'all all this information.
I'm telling you, bro.
So now that I smell like the depths of hell, that's because I've been there. And now I'm back to tell y'all this tank. You don't have to believe me. You don't got to take part if you don't believe me. But I'm telling y'all now, the check is not in DC. The check is in Philadelphia. The check is in Philadelphia, and the cash in is Mother's Day. That's the great turnaround. That's the big flip. And we need to be cognizant of the ones we know that's been doing the work, right? They've been actually doing the work. And they know who they are. Some of them are reservation tribes. They still can send their big mama. We don't care about that right now. It ain't time to solve that part of the equation. The only part we on right now is seasoned tribal mothers coming there so that Empress can have enough tribal mothers to say, we want our shit. We here for it. We showed up. And like I say, it's like 109 seats in Congress Hall, not counting the one that they have to call order to. But we have to return there because that's the last place we had functional tribal government before America took the power to DC.
1790.
Because they took it from, they took it from Philadelphia to DC. So we have to go back and resume tribal business. And it's the matriarchals call because they are the ones with the first right of heritability as caretakers of the land.
Mm-hmm.
We don't own the land owns us. And those caretakers or those big mamas is just the human representative for their plot of land. Let that sink in. They're the human representative for that plot of land to keep humans from abusing the land.
Mm.
Right? And they have to be prepared to start building for the next 7 generations.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? It makes sense what you're saying about the Philadelphia thing, Roy, because that's what we got. That's when that I'm thinking about it. 1790. That's when 1789. That's when they wrote the Adjudication Act. That's when they switched that put the address on us. Roll out their net, start rolling us into their nets and into this new address system, fraudulent system. The fraud took place in 1790 in Philadelphia. So they would make sense that the fraud would end, that in order for to get our shit back, because all of our shit was stole exactly right then. Most of the shit was stole right then on paper, like in 1790 when they made the switch. Right?
Well, it was usufruct.
Yeah, right then.
It was usufruct. It wasn't stolen because it's still here. Because we keep forgetting that a critical part of theft is concealment. You can't conceal this land.
Right.
Right. But you can confuse people as to who they is on the land.
Right.
So I'm gonna tell you like this. This is where we at. For everybody that can think, the government gone. Ain't no government. We need a government. We the people. All you old patriots, America's gone. We have to restructure government. All you barristers, your day is up. Your days are numbered. All you priests has been misleading and molesting the children, your days is numbered. I'm telling y'all now. They convening the Congress Hall to restore back and for the tribes to return or receive government. They're calling back an old government that was already here, that was usurped.
The Republic.
Right. Right. So now we was on, look this up if y'all don't believe me. Ask Google, what is the relationship between tribal government and U.S. government? And it's going to tell you this. It's going to say they are on a 1-to-1 equal basis. That's what it's going to tell you. Now, what it's not going to tell you is what happened when one of them fall and ain't here no more. Well, according to the rules of the usufruct, if the rightful heir is present and the occupier defaults and abandons the property, the rightful heir has first right of claim to go in and say, look, they messed my house up. I'm just going to fix it up. And I'll rent it to somebody else if I choose to, or I'll move in myself. Because he's the owner, he had a right to do that. Well, the U.S. government is gone now. And the tribal government has not been assembled at Congress Hall since the United States government took power. They took power under salvage agreements. The salvage agreements is predicated upon the crash of the Plymouth.
Yep, Libra Code.
Yeah. Now, once they did that, they assumed the jurisdictional territory of an interim government, not a rightful government, not a tribal government, but an interim government. Why? They are tasked with a function. Protect the interests of the crown. That's it. None of us are of interest to any other crowns in England.
Right.
Let that sink in. None of us, I don't care what you look like if you're over here right now, are of no interest to any other crowns in England. They don't care nothing about us. We are their pets and they man. Now, that being said, the way we feel is entirely different. We feel like everybody have a right to live their life as best they can on their own terms. And we believe in aiding and assisting each other in getting to our goals of accomplishment of being the original people of the land. So all of the tribes, and the BIA does not, BIA was created for paper genocide. So you don't have to be BIA certified if you still following your tribal structure and keeping your tribal records in-house. You don't need that confirmation. You need your confirmation from your family. That's all. You don't need their confirmation. They government dead.
They foreign government.
They foreign government. Foreign belligerent occupying government.
Right.
All police forces is operating in hostile belligerence against the people. Letting y'all know that now. Y'all need to start telling y'all local police officers that they operating in hostile belligerence to the tribes of the land. Not why you getting arrested, because that's just going to get you busted upside the head. But in general passing, inform them. Y'all know y'all are in belligerent occupation. In belligerent hostile occupation to the tribes of the land. Y'all don't belong here. And in the sheriffs, they need to be telling the police too, if they are duly elected common law sheriff. Now, all of them ain't legit. You got to be a duly elected common law sheriff, not just a sheriff.
That's right.
They just made a fool out of some brother, some sheriff. He didn't even know that the executive, judicial, and legislative branches of government was. When they was asking him what's the three branches of government, and he's the sheriff. He's not qualified. He's not qualified to hold the position. You have to know what position you hold in the enforcement role, because otherwise you can be misled into enforcing something erroneously. You have to at least know the difference between legislative and judicial, because they both give law enforcement conflicting instructions sometimes. And they need to know which one they need to be answering to, if they need to answer to either one of them in order to fulfill their duties. They not the rightful executives. No police. Police don't come from America. The police come from London.
That's right, bro. Tell them.
And over here, they need guns because they're in a war zone. They don't need guns in London because they're not in the war zone. Let that sink in. They need guns in America because they're in a war zone. But back in England, they don't need guns. Guns is reserved in England for special operations.
Right. And they only got nightsticks over there.
Yeah. Think about this for a minute. Guns are only used in special operations by the police of London, where the police come from. But over here, it's standard operating equipment. It's standard operating equipment to have firearms. They got military firearms. We supposed to have military firearms, not no people called no police. We the ones supposed to be governing our communities, not them. Those are a United Nations style dispatch from the Crown of England and the Vatican as the so-called peacekeeper to keep the war from ever touching the elites. That's their job. That's why they call them policy enforcers.
Right. Right.
What's the policy? Protected. They tell you to serve and protect, but they didn't tell you who they were serving and protecting. It ain't you.
Yeah, it's the crime.
It ain't you. That's why that's why the arrest percentages and ratios are totally off balance, because they're not here to arrest the rich and the famous. They here to arrest the people that's trying to figure out life at the bottom.
The poor and the least.
Yeah. They introduce substances to our community so that they can arrest us for being in possession of the substance they gave us.
Right.
Iran-Contra is your proof. Iran-Contra is your proof. They introduced, look, it's another one, The French Connection. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
That was about heroin. It's about the transporting of heroin.
Yeah.
Watch The French Connection. I'm telling y'all, the government has been involved in the trafficking of narcotics ever since narcotics been coming up in our communities. It didn't used to be against the law to get high. Let that sink in. The drug laws started being created in the 20s, the late teens and the 20s. They started banning substances. Before that, we had all that shit, but we wasn't misusing it because we was used to it. We knew how to handle it. We didn't misuse it. We used it for stuff. We used to use cocaine as a pain reliever.
Yeah, they used to chew it. It's a chew, making the gum out of it downtown.
Yeah,
Bye.
yeah. That's using it for a stimulant to go work long
Mm-hmm.
hours in the field.
Mm-hmm.
They take
Mm-hmm.
a bite of coca leaf
Mm-hmm.
to boost them up. It was like caffeine,
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
right? All right. So all that stuff had
The
a
Germans,
purpose,
man.
but when they put you under oppression, you're more likely to abuse a substance,
Mm-hmm.
looking for escape from the suffering of the oppression. Right
Damn,
in
boy,
the
that's
middle of the
cold.
word oppression, you hear pressure. Right in the middle of oppression, you hear pressure
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because that's the root to it. Put pressure on you to the point where you can't take it and you need something to help you cope. But if you ain't strong enough internally, you become an addict. But if you can control your desire and don't let no substance control you, you become a vice lord. You're a lord of your vice. Now you can use it for something. Everything can be used for something when used in its proper context. If you know what it can be used for, then it's useful. The law of chaos magic applies. Use what's useful. If it works, use it. Use what works. So once you understand that, you work on willpower and you start teaching your children to work on willpower. The power of the will allows us to shift the consciousness in order to alter reality at any moment we choose. And now we choosing collectively to alter the war reality, bring heaven back to earth by restoring the matriarchy. So we
And you
shift.
going in tonight, bro. You going
So
in
we
tonight.
shift.
That's it.
So when I kept telling y'all the flip is coming, now we got a date. It's Monday and Tuesday. I mean, Sunday and Monday. I think it is of Mother's Day and that following Monday. That's 10/11. Because I think Mother's Day falling on Sunday the 10th. And I think Monday the 11th. And that's the birthday flip for me. Born again. A new birth. We got to go back and we have to restructure. They're going to be giving us everything back, but we have to be ready to receive it. We don't have to worry about no differences right now. We have to secure the asset. That's all we're trying to do. Secure the asset. The tribes need to show up. They know they tribal mothers. Everybody know who they tribal mother is, they big mom. Everybody don't have their ducks in a row. Don't worry about that yet. If your ducks ain't in the row, just don't take the seat right now. But you can still show up and support. But let the ones that got their ducks in a row be the first to take the seat. Because they already got everything lined up. Once they secure the asset, because that's all it's about right now. Secure the asset. The government gone. The continuity government has been followed step by step, and I've been walking us through it for what, 5 years now?
Yeah, the government been gone for a long ass time, though, Roy. Like years.
I ain't talking about,
We
but
already
I'm
knew
talking
this.
about the continuity of government.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah, we was just telling the people like we've
Me
been
and
knowing
you
what
been
been
doing
telling
it. How many years we've been telling them
a long
where
ass
we at?
time.
I've been walking y'all through the continuity of government. This is the part we own, y'all. This is the part we own. Y'all go back and look. The video record is present. I've been telling us that we was going through continuity of government and that the tribes was involved. Now,
Hey, Rod, could you tell him too? Could you tell him this part too about cause we went over this about Russell J. Gould and them in '99. They already had claimed their flag and shut them down with the postmaster general. All that we already broke all that down too about
and
how the
all of
government
those are
been
people.
gone.
Those are
Yep.
all
Go ahead. Go ahead. Bro.
those was all pieces leading up to the present.
Right.
If
Right.
you know the history of our people, you know we
Mhm.
matriarchal. And if you even go back to what's called the Haudenosaunee, study
Mhm.
that, and you'll see that the women was the political urn.
Mhm.
The men were looking for provisions and means to provide. They didn't worry about politics.
Mhm.
They was too busy looking for provisions, protecting the family, and finding new ways to provide. They did not have to be involved in politics until when the colonizers came. They refused to do business with women because it's in the history books. And a lot of y'all gonna run across it while y'all doing y'all studies. The men were then required to stop doing what you doing and address these men here that won't talk to the women,
Mhm.
right? Because the matriarchs was the ones who managed the provisions. Who's going to build a castle and where it's going to be built at, and then they gonna go get the family of stonemasons, right? The Flintstones, right? The Stallones, and they're gonna make them build the castle, but they gotta make sure they properly compensated for their work. And they're gonna give them the weight of their value of work in gold, not in plastic, not in paper. The reason why you have a gold note, right? A gold note is so that you can circulate without taking the actual gold off the shelf. You can make transactions without having to drag 2 tons of gold to make a transaction. Now
Mhm.
we beyond the carrying the notes. We can do it digitally now. And that's what they call cryptocurrency. Right? Because you can have the asset on reserve, and the quantum counter will count it as long as it's on a reserve to let you know how much you spent versus how much you got. When you redeem it, you can only get back the value of the gold that the note represents. So gold going to eventually plateau and become a flat rate.
So you think people buying silver because Orisha we big on that, buying like ounces of silver every time a chance you get gold, just pretty much going back to the old system, pretty much buying into the old system. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what it's based on. It's based on Big Mama Bank,
yeah,
because
yeah.
Big Mama Bank, everything was done in gold and coals. That's why Vice Lord is black and gold, Big Mama colors.
hmm Hey, we'll take a couple questions. Hey, Rob, we got about 30 minutes. Hey, we'll take a couple questions from the crowd. Hey, I'll drop the questions on Chief in the crowd. We'll get him. Hey, y'all, you want to
I
show
hope they
Chief? Huh?
go
They
ahead,
say,
go ahead.
oh, yeah. We got a couple people. So, hey, my first question is, you said on Mother's Day we need a certain amount of matriarchs to show up to a specific location. Is that the mission essentially? But
Yeah,
not just showing up, but having we need the matriarchs on the land, like Chief Warhorse, people that got their shit already ducks in a row, like they already know what's going on, like on the land, like people like that,
right.
like that's up
They
to
got
speed.
their record, they got their history,
Right,
right? And
right.
they
And I
know
know Chief Warhorse is one of them.
they
Yeah.
rightful, yeah. They know they rightful heirs on the land.
Right,
So
right.
there's 100, I think it's 109 seats.
Wendy Washington is another one. Wendy Washington is Empress daughter. She's the Empress of the Washita.
We ain't got to name them. They know who they are.
Yeah, we know they know who they are. Yeah, they
know
out
who they
here.
are.
We like, yeah, they all out here though. You know, we know they out here.
Well, and like I told you, even biker clubs got tribal mamas.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's right.
And if they part of a biker club, they biker club is their representation.
Mm.
They following oral traditions. So when they big mama say, line the streets up for protect us, them biker boys gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it ain't gonna be no shenanigans. They had they just gonna make the arrangements and the rightful heirs. We just need to fill up the seats so that we can start rebuilding the government. We don't have no government. This is why all of these city halls is damn near empty. Because they don't have no money. Because there's no government to pay the bills no more. Pretty soon, they're going through a systematic shutdown. We got to get this message out in enough time to stop, because they're going to turn the world off like 2020. And only the big mamas is going to be allowed to turn it back on. And whatever happened got to be done before July the 4th. And we got the message that we're going to be securing the estate in Philadelphia on Mother's Day weekend this year. So now we just have to be, because there's no government. We have to rebuild government. All of those people in DC have been compromised. They've been compromised. Now they got, most of them is walking around in skin suits and not even the people they telling you they is, or they on AI. Even some of Donald Trump shit been on AI. They've been his public addresses. They've been using AI, right? So that murky the water and make people not believe what's taking place is actually taking place. But that was the purpose, to murky the water, so only the people that can see it can see through the BS. It's all psychological warfare, and we the ones they wage war against. So we need to be psychologically aware of how to defend ourselves from the bullshit. Can you please post a location of the Matriarch event on Mother's Day in Philadelphia? Congress Hall. You could just Google Congress Hall, and what's the other name for it? Independence Hall?
Yeah.
Independence Hall, Philadelphia. I think either one. You can Google it and you can get the picture of it. You can see the inside of it. You can count the seats in there. You can get the vital statistics.
Somebody said, I can't see it. My goddamn eyes are so goddamn blurry, man.
Choctaw is the Dawes Roll replacements for the Choctaw. I'm going to say that again. The Choctaw is the Dawes Roll replacement for the Choctaw.
Yeah, 1934 termination act.
Yep. So when we didn't go to what they call Indian territory, because we knew all of it was tribal land. Can't make me move off my damn land. We knew it was our tribal lands, and most of us wanted to stay close to our families where we was at. So when they was telling us the Indian train coming, which coming to find out was the caravan going on the Trail of Tears, because back then they would call a caravan a train. It's not a physical train. It's a caravan, right? And so they tell us that the Indian train coming, do you want to go? When we tell them no, they go where they've been training our replacements called Indian schools, where they was teaching the children that they brought from Siberia. Those were from their vassal villages, because you got to look at who they was fighting their wars with, as Ottomans, as Romans. You see the Huns they fought that was pushed to the north for the Khazarian. The Khazarian is the mulatto offspring of varying European nations and the Moors. from the harem. That's how they end up in control of the banking system. They didn't have birthright. So they gave them the right to use the bank to pay their bills, but they can't own nothing because they don't have a heritable birthright. They only have operational use of the bank as the banker. In other words, you can get anything you want, but you got to get it in the name of the bank. Rothschilds, Rockefeller, Morgans, those are covers. It's 13 central bank locations over America. You're going to look it up on Google. It's going to show you 12, but the 13th is going to be a 5-point star over DC.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what Big Mama Bank's supposed to have been when they was here. But it's actually south because it's in, I think, Raleigh, North Carolina, with the wings of ISIS on the building. What that got to do with it? The wings of ISIS on the building. How did that get there?
They know
I'm
right
not
there.
making none of this shit up, but it sounds like I am.
Hey, now, hey, look. Hey, Rod. So, it's a question I was gonna ask you. Yeah. So, yeah, 'cause I remember Russell J. Gould. I was listening to him, and he said that when he said that he claimed a flag using the quantum system, right? He said that he called down there. He said he called down to the government, to the president, the red phone. Because the United Nations labeled him as a sovereign. So when he called a red phone, he told them, "Man, I capture your flag. It's over." And they said, "Well, what you want to do? Because like we could go, you gonna fight us? Because you don't got no guns. We got a whole army. Like we still got control of we still like a rogue government control of the army." That's what they told them. We rogue. Yeah, you know we bad guys. You know we hijacked you, but what you gonna do about it? That's pretty much what they told them. What you gonna do about it?
They was
That's in 99.
yeah, they was booked, but see, that was only on paper. He only captured their flag on paper.
Yeah, on paper. That's right.
Yeah, so he captured the flag on paper using the laws of grammar. Right? Okay, now, you remember January the 6th?
January 6th.
You remember the dude with the Viking horns?
Yeah, the dude they went sit in the he went sit in the seat. Yeah.
He actually physically captured the flag.
Interesting.
He occupied the highest seat of political government. He put the Republic flag behind the Admiralty flag to transfer back the jurisdiction to the Republic.
I remember that.
Right. So that's literally sank their battleship.
Yeah.
They Plymouth.
Yeah. They finished, man. I'm telling you.
Now,
people don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, if you go back and listen to his interview before he went in there, he told you that he was here to represent a tribal shaman from the land that trained him in shamanism. They call him, that's a ceremonial tribe member, an adopted tribe member. And because he identified who he represented and who sent him up here, and he also said that he was part of the special forces in the military, which was working with the tribal elders in secret because they discovered the plot to steal the wealth from the people of the land with no relief and to take care of foreign nations, which they believed in that idea of protecting the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The Constitution is the usufruct agreement. It was preceded by the preamble, not the preamble of the Constitution, the preamble of the agreement. That's called the Declaration of Independence. If you independent, you ain't got to tell nobody.
Right.
Think about that shit. If you independent, why you need to tell somebody? Because there's other people operating in the same capacity. You not the only one. That's why you have to tell somebody. You got to declare you independent from other people that's not independent. You have to separate yourself. Right? Now, this separation created something that we know in modern times as a legal fiction, a straw man, a dummy corporation, an umbrella corporation. Corporate law applies. Corporate structure. They use that to make the people believe they was legitimate by dressing people in uniform. Because you're less likely to question somebody that's dressed in a uniform because you've been taught that that is the obedience to authority. Obedience to authority is a book study. Look it up. And it explained to you how the white coat syndrome, the uniform syndrome affects the psyche. And further researches in the Machiavellian system where he advises the prince to put shiny trinkets on people and make them think that it's something special and they'll do more stuff for you. It's an illusion. You're not independent. You declared that you're independent while you being a dependent. Because if you wasn't a dependent, you'd be at home. You wouldn't be over here with us. Think about that. If you independent, you would be at home. You wouldn't be over here with us, away from home. And if you search any history book, it tell you that the colonists was away from home. The conquistadors was away from home. The Huguenots was away from home. The Knickerbockers was away from home. All of them was playing on foreign territory. And they talking about they independent. Independent of who? You can't function on this land, I don't care what you do, unless we let you. They use force and they cheated in the game because we're supposed to educate ourselves out of the condition.
Right.
And that's why all of the elders kept telling us knowledge yourself, knowledge yourself, knowledge yourself, knowledge yourself. So you start looking everywhere outside yourself for knowledge yourself because you didn't know how to study the self yet. You needed some comparative analysis by which to study the self. So you needed to go flip mirrors by studying different ideas, concepts, philosophies. Many of y'all got caught in religious dogma and thought that y'all was finding knowledge of self when you was finding knowledge of an external deity force to neglect the internal deity force.
Wow.
That's how they hid the God in you, inside you. So that you won't never look inside you to bring the own self God to the forefront. You all right there?
Yeah, no, I left my damn real glasses in there, so I can't really. It's like it's shit blurry, but I mean it's all good though.
It say, Chief Rod, if our tribe is asleep, how do we find our big mama, Aztec? We originate near Osaka, Veracruz, Mexico, but I'm on a mission to wake up in the U.S. It start with you. You got to first get all the proof you can that you can use to show your elders and systematically walk them through what you discovered. Just moving your rank up in the family, and the more of them that you get the support from, you are being crowned a chief in real time. You got to get as much of your family on board as you can, but first you got to do the work. You got to have the information to give them. You got to have something to show what you was doing to come to the conclusion that you come to. All of us just about know we native. But here go the problem. Because we was told we not, some of us say it, but we don't really feel it.
That's deep, right?
But the ones of us that go dig up the dirt on the people that occupied the land, and we find out we have a fire in us that will not rest. And we have a unique ability to flea flicker the road to the next person capable without ever being in the same room with them. As long as we keep it in the public domain, that's the oral tradition. So you see in arts and entertainment, a chief that can't win with the shotgun. He can't win with a bow and arrow. He don't got the bombs, don't got the planes, the tanks. He say, okay, I got the blood and the right, but I don't got the might. So I'm gonna make the biggest possible stink I can about what's mine. And the next chief that see it might have the keys to unlock what I'm telling them so we can all get ours. So right now, we got a lot of people going, when we gonna send the Europeans back to Europe? We might not. We might, but we might not. Once you get the dirty players out the game, sometimes the game just fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got nobody
Hey, yeah.
necessary fouls, bullying tactics on the court. Ain't none of that. Now you having fun playing the game because now you can play it the way it was intended to be played. The restoration of the matriarchy is only because it's the rule and the structure of the tribes of the earth. That's all. It's the original operating system. Before there was a man present that women put in place so they can always return back to restore everything that we tear down as men. Basically, it looked like the women get together and they turn their sons loose, bunch of toddlers in the field with all kinds of toys to play with, and they end up doing all kind of damage to the toys. Okay, now that the toys is all tore up, take all the boys back home now. They got to go home, take a bath, take a nap. Now let's go to assess the damage and see what we can do to rebuild the playground. That's all they doing.
Right.
We babies in being a God. The men are babies in being a God. We babies in being a God. That's why we not women. We babies at being a God. We got to learn. We have to stick our finger in the socket and get shocked. Right? We got to climb on that top bunk with the fan on, like mama told us not to do, so it can knock the shit out of us. So we can remember the next time she tell us, don't be standing up while that fan on, that we'll listen.
Remember this time,
We baby gods making all these life errors because we trying to grow up as gods. This is the reason why Elijah reminded us that we was gods. Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, they told us that we can do great things if we only knew who we was. Frederick Douglass, all of the greats of the old days, the books we love to read and the ones that hurt our feelings while we reading them, they're giving us the keys. Now we at the point where the government gone, everybody can see it, and we all in denial. And we have to remind you that we are in America and we got the Mississippi. Denial is on the other side of Africa from us. That means that the denial is way over there. We walking with the Mississippi. I'm Mississippi clay dirt walking. That done walked the Mississippi in multiple lifetimes. I walked the Mississippi to the Missouri to the Ohio. I walked little old creeks and rivers that fed the Mississippi by feeding other lakes and rivers. Right? So we have to remember the tribal structure. The tribal structure was matriarchal for political functions. The only role of government is to administer resources to the people of the land. That's it. Government do not belong in your day-to-day life.
Facts.
If you don't put the government in your business, they don't belong in your business. The only reason you need government is to allocate resources. Make sure that I have a functional gas line, water line, and sewer drain ran to my house.
Right.
Right. We don't need electrical lines. We can get electricity out of the atmosphere, but they won't release the technology yet.
Right.
But it's
We
coming.
already hit it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have free electricity.
Yeah.
Right.
Totarians.
They just tricked us into using the wiring system so that they can put meters on it and track it.
Yeah.
And charge you for your electricity. Charge you for your electricity. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Rod, do the astrocartography supportive lines indicate where we truly originate out of? Many of us don't feel
Oh, shit, damn. I thought you had read it. My bad. Here you go here.
connected to where we were physically born. That's because a lot of us is born on foreign lands. The ones that feel some type of way about the land they own, you probably a foreigner and you should feel the other lands. Feel the other lands. You ain't gonna know where you belong until you do something to discover where you belong.
Mm-hmm.
If you take one step in the direction that you're supposed to be going, your direction becomes more magnetic to draw you closer to it. It's the law of nature. It's called the law of affinity. You make step towards your destiny, then that's the goal. Your destiny is going to draw you to it through the law of affinity.
Man, we got 2,000 people on right now. We had about like 7,000 on. Hey, hit that like. Everybody hit likes right now, man. We got 2,000. All 2,000 hit the likes. At the end, all 2,000 sent Rod $10, man. Everybody sent Rod $10, man. Put them in the game. Till the next time we come back on. And hey, if you got it, send them 100. Hey, somebody send them a C note. You know what I'm saying? Put them in the game. Everybody send Rod something right now. $5, dollar, whatever. Nigga, whatever you got. We ain't tripping. Hey, Rod. Okay. Hey, so Rod, based on this, Rod. So based on what we at now, because over the last 7 days, I was thinking about that. I was like, damn, they ain't gonna give us our shit, but they ain't gonna stop us from taking our shit back neither. That's what I came to the conclusion. They ain't gonna stop us from taking it back. They actually want us to get it back. But it's like we got to be aware of what the fuck, like who we are and what our shit is. Go ahead.
Right.
What you say?
Let's go back to what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Let's go back to what I was saying earlier. The government gone.
Yeah.
The tribal relationship, tribal government's relationship to the old government was equals.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the U.S. government, and then we went through the whole continuity process. We went through the full accounting process. Right? They still have people being audited, but they almost done with all of the audits in all of the states.
Mm-hmm.
They know where all of the money at now. They know where all of the thieves at. Now, while that's going on, they have to be doing a reason. I told y'all, the last president, he said, vote for me this time, and in 4 more years, you won't ever have to vote again. Go back and pull the video. Right? This video right here, somebody that's been watching for a while, been listening to what I'm saying, They gonna have a field day making clips with the receipts. Because we done already produced all of the receipts for this.
Yeah, I think I've been planning this video.
Zipico put the Pope on notice in
We got
public.
it. We got it.
And his response was to repudiate the discovery doctrine. The discovery doctrine is called the foundational edicts or the foundational document of all of the invasions of the world by the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm. Rescinded 2023.
The armies of Europe, they used the armies of Europe for their invasions, as they told us they was exiling the Moors. They were not exiling the Moors for real. It was creating a false narrative for the history books. The Moors, when the migration pattern of Europe to two places, they went to Algeria, Northwest Africa, and to like 5 countries or so. The other place they went deeper into France. They refer to themselves as the Huguenots, but they was the Black Jews of France. Now, during the Franco-Swiss War,
The fuck? It just cut right out. Yo, son, that shit crazy. What the hell is happening? Oh, Rod, it must have, I hope Rod phone ain't with the, everybody sent Rod some on that donation. Let's see if he come back on though. Cause I ain't sleepy. We're gonna wait to see if Roy come back on. Hey y'all, everybody send him a donation though right now. Hit that like, everybody hit that like, y'all. I wonder if that Rod phone go dead. We're gonna give him a couple minutes, see if he come back on. Hey, everybody hit the like right now, y'all. We're gonna see if Chief come back on. Everybody send him a donation. Send him $5, $10, $15, whatever you got. All the people that was sending super chat, send Rod something. Here you go right here. I wonder what the hell, bud.
I don't know. I got going in. I'm telling you, we cracking these people.
Man, you went in tonight, Rod. Like tonight was a class that was needed. Like it was like right on time. Like you everything you said is like right on time. And then I don't know what made me name it Meeting of the Chiefs, but that, I guess that lined up too. It all lined up together. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you like everything's
So,
right on point.
Yeah. So for the next couple weeks, they're gonna be rolling it out in steps. You can know, because we gotta have different functions there, stuff for the children to do.
What the? Oh yeah, they playing games. Oh yeah, that's the second thing. Look, yeah, man, they playing games there, man. Something I don't know about that. Hey, shout out that boy Jedi for the super chat. They playing games now. They just cut Roy out again. Let's see. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, they giving me the business out there.
At the last minute, but we already got them out. We already got off on them already, though. We already got everything off on them already. We already bumped them. Hey, we already bumped straight already, man. Hey, look, the message is out there. It's notice the agent, notice the principal. So look, we already, like I said, man, like the people think that Rod talking crazy when he say the government over, man. The government been over, like they been over they've been like posing like as the government since George W. Bush, really since like 99, like 99, since 1999, it's been a rogue government. Since 1999, we got all the evidence in the files in the Native American Chief playlist. Go pull up this playlist we got called Native American Chief playlist, right? We got all the files. Everything Raw was just telling you, right? Everything Raw just telling you, right? So they really over like, and we ain't the only one seeing it. So y'all like y'all think that Raw it's white. It's a lot of white folks. Everybody, you just got to go look it up, man. It's people saying the same exact thing Raw is saying, huh?
Look, the government gone.
There they go. I'm telling you. Matter of fact, I might do a tape on it. It's just doing the showing the receipts of how the government's over.
The government gone. They all when they declared the government insolvent, that was the final death knell to the corporation. Remember, the government was already closed.
That's right.
They've been using AI and studio shit to make it look like they had congressional hearings and all. None of that shit happened for real. It was all staged. The military was running a psychological operation to prevent mass panic as part of the continuity of government rollout. Now that there's no government, the only thing left is for the tribes. The tribes have to meet. Ain't none of that shit Washington really going on no more. All that shit closed for real. Now, if we want to exercise our birthright, then the tribal mothers have to fill them 100 and something seats just to reconvene an interim government so that we can establish a new system of government. We can draw from whatever we want to after that, but we got to secure the asset of the estate. We have to. This not optional. If we want to be part of the remedy, we have to secure the asset. We have to assemble to form a new government. So for all of the ones it's called patriots, to help y'all clearly understand what I'm saying, this is going to be a new constitutional convention for a new government operated without none of the weaknesses of the old government. Right? A lot of the patriots have been trying to get the tribes free. A lot of us is unaware because they have us under the false ideology that all patriots are racists. You have a sizable number of patriots working on behalf of the tribes that you are totally unaware of their existence. They go so far as to get on the Dawes roll to serve as a ceremonial tribe member so that when the real tribes don't know what to do, they can fill the position on their behalf as a ceremonial tribe member until the rightful heir steps forth for that tribe. Everything is covered. Every tribe, every person on the land have a certain amount of rights that have to be protected in the transition. Because this is the optimum time for mass casualties. Because a lot of people will get away with a lot of dirt if the National Guard wasn't on standby for the transition. Ain't nobody finna come over here. We not buying it. Not only do we realize when the National Guard step forward, a lot of the OG gangsters that y'all been calling criminals is going to organize their little crews, cliques, tribes is what they are in truth. They going to put their tribes out in order with clear instructions on how to secure the asset. You have truckers. The truckers union is tied to the big mamas because they used to be horse and buggy in 1800s, transporting food stuff from one part of the land to another. In modern times, we call them truckers. That's a tribe. As long as they got their union, that's a tribe. All unions are tribes. Your local is your tribe. If you don't belong to a certified blood tribe, you can have your local chairman if it's a female, or highest official if it's a female, represent that tribe, that local, that union local, and they can come and speak up on behalf of the union as a working class tribe that was part of the scattering the tribes. We would use every opportunity to constitute a tribal structure, so we will remember how to reconstitute tribal government when this government failed. It's gone. Elijah Muhammad warned y'all about it a long time ago. He gave lectures that was transcribed into a book called The Fall of America.
Yeah. That's right, yeah.
And he told y'all that it was one of us that was on the land that was going to be here to see the final fall of America. He told y'all that. It's in the book. And he used scriptural support, which is because there was the Bible's contract.
Right.
That he was telling us that it was. That contract was up when Trump held the Bible upside down in front of the boarded up church. And then Pelosi ripped the Bible on the Senate floor. Right? That's telling you the Bible contract is now dead. We fulfilled our obligations to the treaty, to the priesthoods, to enforce the biblical contract. It's over with. So now all of the stuff they've been trying to convince us that we are in the Bible, we realize that the only reason we anything in the Bible is because we was enslaved by the Bible.
Right. Hey, talk to him, Rod.
None of the names in the Bible is proper representation of the tribes of this land. None of the overlay of Kemet, which was a subsidiary from this land, none of the Middle Eastern overlays of holy cities that they manufactured and called Jerusalem and Mecca and Medina and Cairo, none of those things apply. America is not Egypt. America is the land of Atlantis. We used to call it the old Atlant. Atlantis is the Greekicized version of the Atlant. Atlant is the original lands of the earth. We've been here so long that there was no here until we built it. I'm going to say that one more time. We've been here so long that there was no here until we built it. Now that we're here, we need to take back control of it. And the only way to do it is to put it in this proper order. The proper order is the matriarchal structure. The men have an entirely different role than politics. We have protectorate roles, educator roles. We got resource recovery roles. We got imposter head splitting roles. We got usurper guillotine roles to play. So right now, the prime contact, sweetie, is the Shalagi Cherokee Nation. You can go to Empress Redbird YouTube page to get all of the details, but they give you her website, email, phone numbers, all that.
Mhm.
But
I'm pretty sure she's probably gonna be going live on it too, probably before like
they
today
did.
too.
So we did something on it. She did something on it, or she had them do something on it tonight, right before we came on.
Okay.
Then she gave her announcement Sunday. So go back and watch her Sunday address. And the Sunday address is reading everything, it's breaking everything down so everybody understand what's taking place. This is not about trying to figure out who right, who wrong, about who we are, none of that. That's not about that. There's just certain tribal mothers that have been putting up this fight that has the documentation to prove it. If they are tribal mother, they are the executors of the land. This covers from Greenland through Canada, through Central America and the islands into South America, Tonga, Samoa, and Hawaii. Hawaii was illegally annexed, and their tribal mothers are still there in their original tribal positions. They just been overlaid with U.S. corporation activities to make it into a tourist resort.
Since they overdosed the Empress. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, over the year following this, from July the 4th to July the 4th, delegates are going to be coming in from all over the world to make a cohesive catalog of matriarchal, like a codex. We know who all of the matriarchs in the world is. They are going to be coming in to sign the book. From all over the world, they coming. Some of them are gonna come out of the rainforest that ain't never had on a pair of shoes in 80 years. But she gonna show up, and she might not wear no shoes, but she got a right to do that. They gonna get the spiritual call to show up. The women are. The ones that's listening to me right now already know if I'm telling the truth.
Right.
And they are already trying to figure out how to get there. Now, so you got a lot of naysayers. We expect that. But I'm telling y'all, the government gone. There's no government. And the tribes have a responsibility. This is not optional. This is not what I want you to do. Big Mama put the call out because there's nobody else here to do it. Somebody have to say, hey, they want to do business with me to surrender our estate. I'm calling all of the similarly situated Big Mamas. We got to go get the check. The check gonna be in Philadelphia. It's not gonna be a check. It's gonna be a key to the vault of Big Mama's bank. She got the seals. They gave her everything she needs to exercise her position as the executor of the estate, but she can only open her estate. She wants everybody's estate open. And we need, in order for us to say that we all want our shit open, we need to fill those seats with the big mamas that's been putting in the work. And they will represent the interim government so that we can restructure with minimum chaos to the people. They was originally going to bring it in under bombs and bloodshed. But they asked me to see if I could figure out a way to do it with no bomb and no bloodshed. Even though the shedding of blood has not stopped, it has not been because of the tribes. It has not been because of the information I've given. It's because of the old system don't want to go. And the people don't want to let the old ways go. So the struggle looks like violence and bloodshed. It looks like war. But when we come to the general consensus that we can all live our best life without don't nobody have to be no little you. Everybody can have equal access to live their best life. If we all could just realize how sincere Rod Hayes is right now about what he's telling you. It's over. There's no government. The tribes was the last government before that's grandfathered in Philadelphia. That's the government they stole the government from. Right? But it was really a loose operation of different tribes that came together for the collective purpose of all of the tribes. So we have to have it equal for all tribes to show up with no distinction of tribes. We can't, right now is not the time to sort out ideologies. It's not the time to sort out semantics of words. We got the right to self-identify.
Right.
Even if you named your tribe yourself. If you know you the big chief that started your tribe and you just so happen to be indisposed, send your wife as your representative. For the undocumented tribes that's following the oral tradition, and some of them have internal documentation called literature. If you have literature and you got 10,000 or more memberships into your tribe, you can send your tribal mother. So let me give you an idea what I'm saying. Right? Willie Lord was a vice lord chief that's now gone. That branch of vice lord, birthright, comes to Willie Lord's wife. Now, if she has lost grace and power and was deposed by her tribe, the person that replaced Willie Lord, if he's in good standing with the tribe and he's following the literature as he lived by, as a lord, and he sent his wife, they have literature. They have an oral tradition and they have a written internal literature. The literature is important because that's the rules you live by. Now, California got a different culture. In California, they have sects. But there's going to always be one sister from each side, red and blue, that's going to be loved and respected in every set, even the ones in opposition. She is their de facto queen. All of the Bloods and Pyrus know who she is because they love her. And they talk about it all the time. And her name come up in conversations across sects. That's who their delegate is under the oral tradition, because they primarily follow the oral tradition in the West. The West culture is based on adversarial pushback. What you mean, Rod? Two rightful heirs in Cali, they gonna bump heads until they get along. There's no other way to do it. It's the Cali way. They gotta bump heads until they get along. Now, the wise thing to do is put their ass in the room for a couple days, and then when they come out, they're gonna love each other. And now they can bring the tribes together. But that's the Cali way. Even when the Califia Queens was running it, if you ran your mouth too much, you had to run a fade.
Hey. Catch that
That's
train.
the culture. If you get caught running, don't get caught running your mouth if you're not qualified to run a fade. That's Cali.
I love phase.
Yeah. If you don't even have to be able to fight. You just got to be willing.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of people just don't know how to fight. They never learned the art of throwing punches. They don't know it. They game though.
Yeah, as long as you scratch. Long as you scratch, cuz.
Yeah. And they ain't gonna let if you stand up, if you a stand-up person, pretty soon the losses that you take gonna become the lessons that you learn in dealing with people.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not from Cali, but if I go to Cali, you know why they gonna give me respect? Because I'm gonna give them some first. You know why they gonna give me love? Because I'm gonna give them love first. You know why I'm gonna do that first? Because I'm going to their house. They not coming to mine. I'm gonna come with love and respect as my lead because I'm going to somebody else's territory. That's just basic rules of life. I'm not going to somebody else's house trying to tell them how to decorate their walls and what flowers to put in their living room. That is not my job. But I will go there and enjoy dinner with them and laugh, joke, and take my ass back home and decorate my own house. How I like my house to look. Right? Make sure that it's functional for all of the members in my house. We will welcome visitors as long as they come with the same lead, love, and respect. They welcome. Don't make yourself unwelcome. Because I will definitely kick you when the doorknob hits you where the dog should have bit you.
Right at the crack
About
part.
man. Don't come starting stuff in my house. If you want to start some shit, go home and start your own shit with your own people. Don't come over my house starting shit. Don't come in trying to upset the peace in my house because I will gladly remove you. And if you come back after I remove your ass, you're going to leave land. I'm not talking. No bullshit on this end. You got to make sure that you come with the same love and respect that you want me to give you when you get there. No, we never go nowhere empty-handed. We always go somewhere with love and respect because that keep us safe when we on other people's territory. And they look out for us because they say, I don't know who this new dude is, man, but I kind of like him, man. He real respectful, you know? Kind of good dude. Just his frequency, just the way he vibe. He's just a good guy. And the only reason I know it because I've overheard it about me many times. They start off don't like me because they don't know me, but when they start talking to me and they understand what I'm about and they get to know me, then they be like, man, that dude kind of different, man. He kind of all right. He kind of all right. I was a fucking animal nerd growing up. None of this shit really mattered to me. I just know how to treat people because my mama taught me good manners. And all good manners takes you right back to the laws of Mott. And the laws of Mott brings you to the judgment of balance, overseen by the big dog himself. And as he weigh your heart to that feather of truth, just hope you standing on your 45, exercising your 360 to the 720 off to the 1440, and that you got all of your bases covered, your I's dotted, and your T's crossed. Because if you're going to play in this game, you got to play to be the boss. Don't take a second fiddle to name other person's riddle. Write your own. Stand on your own. Make your life what you want it to be. Envision your life. Tell your children life's supposed to be hard, so when it get hard, they don't give up. Tell them that they are strong and they are internally tougher than they know because they're not old enough to know how tough they are. So when it get hard, that's where you find out how tough you are. And that'll give them pride in their self-development because they're learning how tough they are. If you tell them that stuff, you soften the blows of mental illness and emotional breakdowns. Just Prep your babies. That's all. Tell them life ain't always easy. It's not always fair. But depending on what you're willing to sacrifice is the same level of what you're willing to receive. You'll be forced to sacrifice everything in order to get everything back. If you don't know when the sacrifice comes, it'll show up. You don't gotta like it. But the payout on the other end is what you're looking for. You don't have to like everything in life in order to live life. You just have to experience what you experience and respect that shit and learn from it. Your life will ease out and you'll hit cruise control and have your feet up on the dashboard and the car drive itself if you just do them few little things. Tell yourself it's okay to go through hard patches in life and to struggle. Because you know the struggle is the labor pains of the birth of the ease. If you tell yourself that, you manifest that. And that's all I got, Elder, for tonight.
Yeah, you A-Rod, you cracked heads, man. Like this, like I said, this like it's perfect time. It was like a perfect damn hit. Like everything you said tonight, everything you said was on. Hey y'all, if you still on, we got like 2,000 people still on, man. Everybody still hit that like if you ain't hit that like. Everybody sent Rod $10 right now if you still on, if you ain't sent them nothing, man. Somebody sent a super chat. Shout out everybody for the super chats, man. Everybody that sent a super chat sent Rod something, man, right now, man. What else I wanted to say? Oh yeah, so man, we pretty much will be back, y'all. If we get any updates on this, I'll be having probably some stuff coming out dealing around it, dealing with the return of the matriarch in Philadelphia. I'm gonna do some AI breakdowns on it. I got some. I got turned around on timeline. Go ahead.
The prime opportunity that they had to assemble at Congress Hall, and they could have overthrew the government before it fell, was at the Million Women March. They didn't know what to do. And that's not a knock on nobody that was. That's just to show you how effective that the enemy was, that we was right there with the feminine presence needed to restore the matriarchy and to seize power. And nobody knew how close they was to victory.
Then, right at the finish line.
They was right there. Listen, they was right there. They vexed the grievances in the public domain, just like they were supposed to. But nobody called Congress Hall to order until Empress sat in that seat to call Congress Hall to order. Because the first time she sat there, it was not it was not like it's supposed to be full, but it was people there still. Because it was people that supported her that went there in support. Right? Now, where we at is the call that she's making, if they can fill the 109 seats, I think it is, that gives them the jurisdictional supremacy as the rightful heirs of the land to then start making arrangements to establish a new government. But you got to remember the function of government. It's not to micromanage your life. Government is here to allocate resources to all of the people, right? When we used to raise children before colonization, we did not need prisons. That's why we ain't had none. Let that sink in. Prisons is not 200 years old.
That's a fact.
We got to go back to raising our children correctly. Every boy child, when he's 13, is now obligated to be under the apprenticeship of solid, capable males for him to learn the lessons of manhood. That's why they give the boys bar mitzvahs at 13, right? And that's not to make them a man. That's to make them qualified. That's the ceremonial recognition that now this boy can go hang out with the men to learn how to provide for his family from men that does it. As opposed to, we want the children to have a childhood, but we also want them to learn through their childhood certain key things. But we don't want to take their childhood away. The system we breaking in this goddamn school system of theirs, was ruining the childhood of the children, and they was not focused on their mental well-being. It was focused on how to teach hoe culture to them and homosexual culture. It had nothing to do with education anymore.
Wow.
It had nothing to do with education anymore. So, oops, shit. Now we obligate. Look, there's nobody
Oh,
here to catch this government as it collapses and have the means to keep it functional enough to write a new government. And we have to have the matriarchs. They are the executors of the estate of the wealth. And this is why you always hear that the money line comes through the mother. Right? That's because the hereditary wealth comes through the feminine, but the rulership right, the right to stand out in front of the people and tell them this is what the rule's supposed to be. The rulership right comes from the fatherland. It's the responsibility of the fatherland. But rulership didn't have to do with politics. Politics used to be internal harem discussions to the king. It was never a public spectacle until they came up with European powers. So now, in order to prevent their secret societies from secret squirreling us into slavery like they did, we put everything in the public domain so that the tribes could still get the lessons while they live in their life. Yeah. They still get the lessons while they live in their life. Right? So this is what this is about. The government is gone. A lot of people not going to believe that. But most of the people that were senators and congressmen have either been hanged for treason or given lengthy prison sentences for various other crimes. All of the ones who got found guilty of treason and misprision of treason and conspiracy to treason are going to be put to death. There's not no, because they had the opportunity and the means by which to protect all of the people without discrimination being a tool and a device for the allocation of resources. They did that on purpose, and they kept and perpetuated it, and they was part of the attempted takeover. So now they all have to go. I don't care where the hell they go when they get to the other side, but they getting the hell out of here. And I'm not even in the JAG sessions with them, and I know they about to get the business. I know they going through the JAG sessions, and I know the type of
in Georgia right now. There's a lot of corrupt judges and corrupt lawyers going down. They getting busted right now, and because I heard it's one that's getting busted. He kills his wife or something, and then Seals is speaking up for him. When I said he would speak up for, because these niggas crooks. They all crooks. You know, Sheriff Seals and all of them that did Doc. You know, in Georgia, they all racist crooks. And you know,
Sheriff Seals got a video He got a video he did for the Rex 84 program. Don't worry,
Mhm.
his days is numbered.
Oh, yeah,
His
his
days
ass
is
is not.
numbered too.
Yeah, he a crooked.
I
He
mean,
a crooked, man. He crooked.
well, we saving seals because we want one person to say what the remedy gonna be that he want for seals. That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say who it
Yeah.
is. I'm just
Yeah, we
saying
ain't
we
forgot about that
Sheriff
noose that you had
Seals.
on your desk, Seals.
Yeah, Sheriff Shields is being saved for the orders of a particular individual or how he want to handle it, and it ain't me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he tried to speak up. He said, I said, that sucker would speak up for a crooked lawyer because his ass is crooked. You know, that's what I was telling my old
No,
lady, man.
so
Sheriff Steele's crooked
listen,
ass.
all of this shit. Remember, I told you all sheriffs are not duly elected common law
Right,
sheriffs.
right.
Some of them
Like
are
him.
put there by the machine, right? Some of them are put there by the machine to perform a function of espionage as a extension of intelligence agencies. That's why they there. It's control mechanisms, and so they put intelligence agents as high-ranking officials
Yeah,
because nobody questioned when they reviewing documents.
right,
Who gonna question it?
right.
Right? When they going over your arrest record and they saying Rod Hayes did this, that, and the third, they got the right to look at that
Mm-hmm.
without question. They beyond
Mm-hmm.
reproach in that regard. They got files on me that's not access to the people in the public. All of us. They can go read that because now they've got this title of a high-ranking law official,
Mm-hmm.
a captain, a lieutenant, right? A sergeant. Sergeant you just barely getting in at that point. You still barely pawn status.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get past the sergeant, you start being captain, lieutenants, deputy chiefs. Now you beyond reproach in pulling people's secret files. So now you know who you can freely fuck over in your parish, in your county, and not have a backlash from the whole of the government.
Mm-hmm.
Because they get to read your file.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it.
Hey, well, I'll stand. Hey, that's it. Hey, well, I'll stand right next to a mountain and chop it down with the side of my hand. My voodoo child, baby. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, baby. Chop it down. Hey, we're all about to get up out of here, man. Hey, you cracked heads at Twitch Counts. I think we got our point across. We'll be back, y'all. Hey, we love you all. Hey, free the Master Teacher Dr. Malachi Z. York. Free Larry Hoover. Free Jeff Ford to L. Rookie, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let the three trees walk. You heard me? Hey, man. And so we out of here, man. Hey, y'all, we'll be back. Everybody show Chief some love on the Cash App. If you can't send it on Cash App, send it on PayPal for my guys in London. All that want to do the PayPal. My guys in London. Shout out my guys in London, man. That was going to show us that love. Appreciate y'all, man. We'll be back. One love, one heart. We love you all. Goodbye. Good night. Wadu. Never have it been made so clear.